Hello and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on the time that you're watching this video. Welcome to the landing page of InvoiceX, and this is important for small businesses because, as we all know, the new tax laws are taking effect, and there are a lot of myths and facts surrounding this, but that's not the purpose of this video. The most important thing that every SME, every small business in Nigeria should know is that for you to defend yourself before any taxman, you must have your digital proof, and that is why we've developed InvoiceX. In fact, e-invoicing is fast becoming the norm. I'll just quickly show you a document by Ernst Young. And Ernst Young is one of the big players that have been approved by Nigerian Revenue Service, which is the former FIRS, to serve as the the e-invoice access for the bigger players platform for Nigeria. And Ernst Young and some other big companies who are targeting the big businesses have been approved to show you that FIRS, now NRS, is pivoting towards making sure all businesses in Nigeria are on the e-invoice platform. And we developed InvoiceX for small businesses who of course will not have that kind of finances to connect through big major players like Ernst Young, as I just showed you. So InvoiceX is developed for the time when NRS starts paying attention to small businesses. You already have your digital records, unlike most businesses are at the moment using physical copies of invoices. So let me just demonstrate how the platform works and see how it resonates with small businesses. So you have your digital records by probably before the middle of the year, when NRS, or formerly FIRS, starts breathing down the neck of SMEs like you. Mind you, they have our NINs, they have our BVN, so we can't really hide. The best form of defense, as I've said repeatedly, is for you to have a digital records like InvoiceX, your tax-ready invoicing platform. So quickly, let's see how it works. Let me log in to a demo account that I've created. Then we'll quickly see how it works. So you sign in through the dashboard, and it's mobile responsive, but for the purpose of the demo, I have to use the desktop mode. You can access this on any browser on your phone, and so easy to use. So this is what the dashboard looks like. You have it shows you your net sales at every given time. It shows you your VAT output, which is the invoices that you generate for your customers. And then the input VAT claimable simply shows the invoices that you receive from people who you buy items from, because then you'll be able to calculate your net VAT position. Before now, it's only the 7.5 you put on your invoices that you need to remit to the government, but now the 7.5 that you pay to other invoices, to other customers or people, suppliers as the case may be, can net out the 7.5 you pay for the to the government. Many invoice platforms today only focuses on you generating invoices and then helping you to show your 7.5 VAT position, but you know that your input VAT can net out your VAT, the output VAT, so that you have a net position. So we're going to quickly demonstrate how this works. So on the left, you have your menu, which on your mobile phone you have that hamburger link that you can click on, and then you have all this menu showing. So you have invoices. I've not created any. What I've done is to create a customer. So once you want to create a customer, when you want to create a customer, rather, you just click on the customer button. You fill in all the details. If the customer is a B2B, B2C, you put in the TIN number. The NRS is tilting towards making sure that if you will be a responsible medium scale business, you must do business with registered businesses who also have TIN. So B2B, the address, the email address, phone number, and the contact person, all are the details that are required on a FIRS or NRS compliant invoice. So I have created 2 already. And then products, you create your product as many unlimited number of products. So you add products, you put the product name, you put the stock keeping unit code, the price, and then if it is 7.5, some items are 0 rated and some items are VAT exempt, which I'm going to speak to it in a second. Then you create your products here. Then the next menu is if you are logging in now your purchases from your own supplier. So you can see that InvoiceX is like standalone software for small businesses to make them VAT ready and NRS compliant. So you record your purchases, you put the date, the supplier name, you put the invoice number. It's optional, but it's good for records. You put the description of the item, you put the gross amount on the invoice. The invoice is given to you, there's always a gross amount. You put it here, and then you put the VAT amount as it is stated in the invoice. Then you indicate if it's out of scope, or if it's 7.5 that rated or 0 rated or exempt, and then you flick this to indicate if you want to treat this as input VAT. So if your supplier charges you 7.5, you click this so that it indicates that somebody need to pay 7.5 to somebody, which will now net out your own 7.5 that you give to your customers. Like as you can see, the one that I've recorded already here is hosting for the InvoiceX platform, which was bought abroad. The Namecheap is not a local company, so there was no 7.5 that was charged to me, so it's out of scope. And then you have this list here for your tax reference guide, which you hardly see in many of the e-invoice platforms. Like say, you have to go to Google or ChatGPT to start looking for that. But on InvoiceX, we've curated the list of items that are either VAT exempt or 0 rated, so that when you are logging in your purchases or you are generating invoices for your clients, you know which category what you sell falls into. And then the first thing you do when you sign up, of course, is your company profile. You have to put your company name, your tax ID, your address, you put your bank details, and then you put the default VAT rate is 7.5, and then you tick this if your business is already registered. If not, it's still good you sign up so that you keep gathering your digital proof, so that when the taxman comes around, you just export your details, or you sign up and show them the history of your purchases. As you can see from the dashboard, you can filter your transactions by month, by quarter, by year, and we're going to create an invoice, and then we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I already have customers, test customer, and then I have a couple of products. So let's do that now. So let's go to invoices, create new invoice. You don't need to type in. Once you've loaded your invoices in your customer, and your products for your customer, you just go to the drop down. If you have hundreds, it filters out, or you just type the name for it to start filtering out which of the customers. I'm picking test customers. You can see to automatically populate the TIN and the phone number, and invoice number will auto generated the invoice date and the due date, which is roughly maybe a month from the time, but you can always change this due date by clicking the calendar, and then the address, and then you come to the line item. You can add as many as possible. The same thing applies for your products. You've already loaded them here, so you just click on this, and you pick the item. So we'll do a test product, or let's just do something that carries a little bit of weight. 9,000 for the subscription. What VAT category does it fall into? Of course, you want to charge them 7.5. And then, should in case the payment details you're using is different from the one you have in your company profile, you can fill that out here, but you can see it just auto picks what we have in the company profile, which is the corporate account for responsive AI agency. And then as you can see, it has automatically calculated this for you, and then you finalize the invoice. Once you finalize the invoice, it will take you to the invoices tab, where you can either edit the invoice but that is of course finalized. So you could put it in draft if the customer have not paid, which you can see that is an option, save as draft. Okay, and then once the customer pays, you now come and finalize it. So that's what we warrant edit. You can send the snapshot by WhatsApp to the customer. As you can see, invoice notice, their test customer, which is the name of the customer we picked. Please find details of your invoice below: invoice number, date, amount due, your bank details, and the customer will be aware that the physical invoice is on the way. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to generate the invoice, download the invoice here. So let's see what the invoice looks like. So this is the invoice. It has responsive AI logo, the details, the TIN number to show that it's compliant, and then the customer's details, all the details that are needed in the tax compliant invoice, the TIN, the customer name, the address, the telephone, invoice number, the items, and then your payment information. You could decide to print and sign, but since it's system generated, that might not be necessary. And then you can now, if it's on your phone that we're doing this, it's going to save and give you the option to share via WhatsApp. So you can also share the physical copy of the invoice. Now let us now go to the tax. Now before that, you can delete and you can export for JSON file. This is for API stuff and the rest of them for for text, as the case may be. And then we can export. If you have thousands of invoices, you can export this table for your tax consultant to file, or your accountant, as the case may be. So if we now go to the dashboard, you will see that it has shown us the sales, which is yours, VAT output. This is the amount you are filing to NRS or FIRS. You don't have any VAT, input VAT yet, because we've not logged any purchases. The one we logged was for test purposes, so it's not showing up here. And then your VAT position. If we log a purchase now, for example, something like maybe I bought a computer, Oraimo, for example, Oraimo laptops, and then I said 8 HP laptop, form responsive AI. Let's assume it's 50,000, and okay, 50,000, and 7.5 of 50,000 is 3,750, if I'm not mistaken. 7.5, we treat it as input VAT, and then we'll save the purchase. So the purchase is saved now. So let us now go back to the dashboard. So the dashboard is now telling us now, which is very interesting. You have invoiced out 7.5 for 675 naira, but you've bought items with 7.5 of 3,750. So the system is telling you now, in the net position, that you do not owe the government anything. You see the importance of your digital proof footprint. So that means if you kept your purchases from your supplier, which you've logged in the purchase part, and you also keep the physical copy for reference, maybe in future versions you'll be able to upload this and keep it somewhere. And then you have your output at 675. You can see that your net position. So it's like you are not owing the government. But how do you know that? If you do not have a digital footprint, as the case may be. And then you have a business snapshot below, which is quick summary of what you've achieved this month, so you can quickly see your sales. You can see your invoices, number of invoices you've issued out, which are stored here. And then you can see the number of customers that you have, which are active for this particular month, which you have invoiced. As notice, you've only invoiced to one customer in this demo. And then the other beautiful thing is, when we tested using the system before this account, we filed for January to see that the filing button works. And if you see below here, you can see that it even told us, or it's telling us the date that we filed, which was on 6th of January 2026, and then what we filed. So what is going out and what is coming in. As you can see here, sorry, this button here is covering up. So it's 3,750. That was our input VAT. Our output VAT was 22,500. So what we are filing for the month of January is 16,750, and we can export this, as proof that you are doing the right thing. Now, another thing you need to know is, the company income tax or the corporate income tax that you pay. There's a threshold. So if you're like, I think it's 25 million or 50 million, as the case may be, yet you cannot just tell NRS or FIRS that, look, I'm a small business. Your digital records will also help to your net sales at the end of the year. So if let's assume you'll be using InvoiceX for the last 1 year, it saves all your record. So NRS comes knocking, you have this. So if we go back to the invoices, you can export the details. You go back to your purchases, you can export the details, and you can have your accountant sit down with them and show them all the records. The best line of defense for you against having estimated tax payment is your digital records. So please sign up. E-invoicing is no longer an option in the weeks and months ahead. Start building up your digital records today with InvoiceX, and you can go to bed at night knowing fully well that anytime NRS or FIRS, as the case may be, comes knocking, you are ready to present your records, either to show them that you're filing your VAT or the threshold of your income to know if you are below the threshold or you are above the threshold. Thank you for listening, and hope to see you on the inside of InvoiceX.